Okay, this video is going to give you a few new ideas for how you can use Google Docs Live for synchronous distance learning. I am starting to set up in my document a way that I can have a class discussion, a teacher led class discussion on Google Docs. So, this discussion is going to be a science discussion on alternative energy. So, I've labeled it, and I'm going to have a place for my teacher question to go and then a place for my responses, but I want a way that's going to organize things and sort of decrease the amount of chaos that could potentially happen in a live environment. So, the first thing that I'm going to do is if I want to release one question at a time so that I have all of my students looking at the same question at the same time, I'm going to put places by putting in a table with only one box where I can type my question in live time. And then I'm going to have a place for my students to respond. And this is going to be similar to the parking lots that we've had for some of our meetings. Insert table, and I'm going to give at least two boxes for as many students as I have. Um, just to save space here, let's cap this at 10. And I can have a place for them to respond, and I can have another place for maybe for my response to their response. But as you can see, this is feeling a little cramped for a lot of writing here. So I can come over to File, and if I come down a little bit to Page Setup and click on that, I can change the orientation to landscape, which is going to give my paper more space, more room for writing. Notice I can also do things like change the page color. So if I have some students who, for need for visibility reasons, to have some color behind the words, I can do that. And also I can change the margins to give myself more space as well. So by changing it to landscape, you can see I have more space here. And also I can increase that space by adjusting this because maybe I don't need that much space for where my students are going to put their names. And then I'm going to label student response. And then I could make this for teacher response, or maybe I could even make it for peer response so that I can have them engaging with each other. So let's just say I am meeting with my students and I type in my first question. Okay, so now my students are all seeing me type that question, and they then will come over here and type their name. Or if you want to make sure that all of your students are responding, you can ahead of time put in all of their names. So it's going to require every single person to respond at the same time. Okay, so my one student has responded, and let's say even one of their peers has responded, but as a teacher I can also make a comment on each student response by highlighting what they've said. And when I highlight something, you'll notice that over here the add a comment button pops up. If I click on that, now I can make a comment to this person's comment. So now I've increased dialogue all on a Google Doc. But there are some other things that you can do with Google Docs as well. One is that you may want to organize your discussion so that it's easy for students to toggle between different questions, especially if you're going to give them an opportunity to go back and change their answers. So you'll notice that over here, there's actually a table of contents that you can set up by creating titles or headings. So if I want each question that I ask to be clickable over here in my table of contents, I can highlight it, and then I'm going to come up to here where it says normal text, and I'm going to change it to say title. And by doing that, it creates my my table of contents over here. And I can do that for each of my questions so that then it makes it easy for students to come over here and click and go right to that section in the document that they need to look at. Okay, so some other ideas. If you have a student who has difficulty typing or difficulty with spelling or another disability that would prevent them from being able to participate in this kind of environment, you can also use voice typing. So a student who needs that kind of help, come up here under tools. And if you look down here, one of the options is voice typing. This gives them a microphone. If they click on the microphone, they can say what they want to appear in this box. And when they're done, they just click their microphone off, and then they'll click to a new part of the document, click their microphone again, and it will type in their verbal response. So that's just a way to differentiate and make this accessible to other populations. Um, if you want to be super fancy and you want to use some different font styles, obviously you can change your font styles up here. If you don't see a font style that you like, you can click here and add more font styles onto the selection that you have in your drop down. And we can also include images and edit images in Google Docs. So if I wanted to include a picture, I can get a picture from the web. If I have a picture already in my drive, I can go there to get it. I can upload pictures from my computer. And once I have my picture into my document, you probably already know this, you can size your pictures. You can also crop your pictures so that if I don't need all of that white space and I want my students to focus on one specific part of the picture, whoops, that was the wrong one. Let's grab that black bar. There we go. So I can crop my picture so that only the parts that I want them to focus are showing. And if you right click on the picture, you can also, where is it? There we go. Image options. I can choose how I text wrap. If you want it to be in line with text, I usually do wrap text so that my text will actually just sort of like, I can move the picture around and the text sort of adjusts itself around the picture. But there are lots of different things. You can adjust colors. You can adjust how transparent or bright it is. Lots of things that you could do once you have your picture into your Google Doc. Okay, so another thing that I wanted to point out is, let's get rid of this, the Explore button. This is like a power search. I'm going to get my cursor where I want it to be. I'm going to take this picture out actually. If I wanted to, for instance, give my students some background before answering a question, I can do this power search. And the power search is going to search the web for articles, it's going to search the web for images, and it's also going to search my drive. So anything that I have in my drive that relates to alternative energy will come up, but also I can search the internet. And if there's some background information that I want my students to read, and I want them to focus only on a specific I don't want them necessarily to have to read the entire article, but there's just a part of this article that I feel like they need to read in order to be able to answer a question. I can copy that and paste it into my document. I'm going to put quotation marks around it because I'm going to show that these are not my words. And this is a really fabulous thing that you can do in Google Docs that perhaps you didn't know about. If you click on these three dots right here, you can choose which citation format you want to use, and then click on the citation, the quotation marks beside the article that you've used. And when you do that, it is going to put a footnote at the bottom of your paper that cites in MLA style where you got this information. I think all of us should probably, since we are modeling for our students, um, I think all of us should use this tool before making any of our documents live to come up here and do a spelling and grammar check. And the last thing that I wanted to show you is that although you cannot insert videos into a Google Doc, there is a workaround if you really wanted to be able to have students watch a video and then respond right there in the document. Um, and here is how you do it. If you open up slides, and in a slide presentation, they will allow you to insert video, right? So you insert video. And if you already know your video, you can copy and paste in the URL. If you have one already in your Google Drive, you can attach that. But let's say I would like to use this National Geographic video. Click that and select, and it goes into my Google slide. Okay, for whatever reason, it makes it really difficult to do the insert video while I'm recording. So hopefully it works this time. Here is the video that I have inside of my Google slide. I Control C or right click and copy. And then I come back over to my Google Doc and I click on Insert Drawing, a new drawing. And then I'm going to right click or Control V and paste it into my drawing, save and close, and boom, my video shows up in my Google Doc. Now, because Google Doc is not compatible with videos right now, my students are going to have to double click on this in order to bring up the drawing and press record, but it does give me a way to have a video recording in my Google Doc. Okay, last but not least, you need to remember that before you use Google Docs Live with your students that you are going to have to enable them to edit it. So the way you do that is to go up here to share and click. And the easiest thing to do with students is just to get a shareable link here. So you click on that. And then you are going to make sure that in this box right here, that of the three options that you have, you're going to say anyone at Loudoun County Public Schools with the link can edit. That's going to allow your students to be able to type into those different discussion tables that you've set up. And done. And now you have enabled other people to edit the document. All right. I hope that this has been helpful to you, or that you found at least one thing that you didn't know that was there that you can now use. If you have any troubles, please feel free to reach out to either myself or to Angela or Bill. We are all three here for you, happy to help in whatever way we can. Thanks.